Yeah. All right. All right, greetings and welcome to Knowledge for Life. And we're going to be talking about a very serious subject today, and that is going to be on, is your water safe to drink? And so many of us, we believe that maybe our water is safe to drink because it's clear. We may not have a smell to it. And so when we raise it up and we look at it, it seems like it's pretty safe. But the truth is worse than you may think. So, to talk about this, we're going to bring on the owner of the Dayton Water Store, Miss Marilyn Caparini. And let me go ahead and bring her on. Get my mouse to work right. There we go. Greetings.
Hello, hello, hello.
All right. All right. Thank you for joining us. And tell us
Uh,
just a little bit about yourself. And if you want, go into a little bit about the history of how you got into, studying the toxins in the water and how we can purify it.
Absolutely. My search began, it'll be 11 years in March. And it has been a journey and it continues to be a journey every day. I have had the opportunity to be introduced to a Japanese technology that gives residential and commercial the safest drinking water on the planet. And when that was introduced to me, Steve, I did not drink water and
Hmm.
I had no interest whatsoever. But
Right.
as I was enlightened, like we hope to enlighten our audience tonight, that things changed. And if somebody would have told me 10 years ago that I would drink a gallon of water a day, I would have told them they were hallucinating. So,
Right.
anyway, it has just been a journey and it has been an absolute privilege to bring health and and hydration to people through this platform and education and information, which we hope to share with them tonight. Absolutely.
Yep, absolutely. So what we want to do is go into. I always like to start off at you know where we should be, where we are, and how. Well, not where we should be, but where we should be. Yeah, where we should be, where we are, and how we can get back to where we should be. Right.
Okay.
So let's go ahead and get into. We have a PowerPoint, and let's go ahead and get into this PowerPoint. And we're talking basically to Dayton residents, but really this applies to everybody in North America, basically, because everybody's water supply is pretty much the same, and that is not good. So let's
Right.
go ahead and get on into this. So why do you need water? You know, and did a little bit of research myself, of course, um, on this subject. And here are some of the reasons that we have up on why our body needs water. And as you know, many people say, and like you were just saying in the very beginning, that many people don't even think think to even drink water. I don't even like to drink water. But can you go into some of your understanding of why a person needs to drink water?
Well, actually, 90% of Americans are dehydrated and they don't even know it.
Hmm.
And most people will maybe just drink water to take their prescription medications
Hmm.
or their supplements. And
Right.
so the power of having a water that is healthy and hydrating to the body, then it allows the body to be able to become in a homeostasis state. And when the body is in a homeostasis state, the body can heal itself. And we're talking about not only heal itself, but offset degenerative diseases. So we've got to look at the fact that the body is 75% water. And so if you wrap your brain around the fact that our bodies are 75% water, and what are we putting in our bodies? Are we drinking Coca-Cola? Are we drinking caffeine, whatever, and using that as the fluid that we put in our bodies? That is not serving our bodies in a healthy platform. So the body needing a healthy drinking water to really, well, they say dehydration is the silent killer.
Right. So. And you said the 90%, you know, and that's a huge amount of people who are not drinking water, or who are not either not drinking water or not drinking enough water. And
so,
and look, one of the things that yes, I should have got mine. I got me some juice. I got me some good old orange juice with some prune juice in it. Yeah, you gotta get those vitamins and minerals. But listen to this. It says 3.5 million people are suffering from water illnesses, waterborne illnesses. It says that, but for the benefits of water, it says it helps to regulate temperature. It helps to remove waste from the body, and it helps to carry substances throughout the body to the cells and to the organs. This is what water does. And so, you know, some of the other bad effects, though, of course, of not drinking water is that it causes you to prematurely age. It says, because your skin is dry. And they say that there's a test that you can do, that you can pinch your skin, and if it goes back immediately, then you're pretty well hydrated. But if you pinch your skin and it stays for even just a few moments, then that is a sign that you are dehydrated. Another thing, and then we'll go on. It says another thing is blood clots. You know, not enough water can cause blood clots. It can cause rise in blood pressure, stroke, joint pain, takes longer to heal, and digestive problems like heartburn and constipation. So if any of you are out there and you're dealing with any of these symptoms, maybe it's time to start drinking a good glass of water. However, we're going to show you how you can drink proper water, because the water out of your tap, as we're going to go into, is not what you want to be drinking for real. So let's go to the next slide. Oh, we just talked about that. But is there any more you want to say while we allow the people to look at this slide?
No, I think you did a really good job of helping explain. And as you said, we'll go further and help to educate that there's a difference between a healthy water and, I say, a bottled water or the tap water. So that's a huge education piece I know we'll get into. But no, I totally agree. The water affects the body, you know, by regulating the temperatures, by lubricating our joints, that people don't even realize. So absolutely, you nailed it.
Okay, all right. So stay hydrated, keeps you young. When you don't drink enough water, your body becomes dehydrated and skin dries. Dehydration makes your skin less elastic and prone to wrinkles. So water makes, you know, they say milk, what is it, that old saying, milk makes the body good, so does water.
Absolutely.
So here are some signs of dehydration. Many people may be suffering from low energy, and a lot of people suffer today from a low energy. Dry lips, dark urine. Even with the urine, it talks about if there's a strong smell to the urine. That could be signs, of course, of some other type of dis-ease that's in the body, but it's definitely a sign of not being hydrated.
Correct.
headaches, bad breaths, and muscle cramps. Wow.
Absolutely.
So here is where we can get right on into the nitty gritty of our topic that we're going to be talking about. If you would like, go right ahead and talk about how our water, our tap water, is filled with all of these chemicals.
Well, it happens because our municipalities only have a certain type of filtration system, and they do the best they can do, and then they have to put chlorine in and lye in our tap water. So chlorine is a chemical that drinking over time really isn't healthy for us. They have to put lye in our municipal water to protect the municipal pipes. So as you see here, we have pharmaceutical drugs. Our municipalities don't have the filtration ability to take out the pharmaceutical drugs in our municipal water. So what are we looking at? Now we have hormone disruptors happening because of the pharmaceuticals that people are ingesting in their water. And, they don't even realize why or the source of what is happening.
And can you go a little bit into that hormone disruptors? What does that mean?
Well, what it means is when they've proven, they have tests that show that more and more men are becoming sterile, and women are having thyroid issues. And it's because of, as you can see, all these contaminants that's in our source water. And number one is the chlorine detriments is the fact that so many people are coming down with cancer. And I've always asked people for the last 10 years, you see all these cancer research centers and treatment centers coming up all over. And then I always looked at it and said, have you ever thought for a minute that it might be in our water?
Right.
And people don't realize that these contaminants are there that are not doing us justice.
I mean, here's something that is, they say, like, for instance, something that's hidden in plain view. I know you probably heard of that expression, but here is, and some can think of it as a conspiracy theory, but some of it think that, this is all by design, that it's not by accident,
Right.
that, the global elite, if you will, want to cull the population. And one of the things that we have to begin to look at before we say, come on, is news came out right today, Miss Marilyn, where they were talking about the birth rate in the United States is at a historic low. The birth rate in the United States is at a historic low. Not only that, as you were just saying, they were talking about the male regenerative organ, the penis is getting smaller.
Yes.
There are other things, and all of these have been proven to come about from the chemicals that you can find in our water. Bisphenol, the bisphenol A, the phthalates, and we're going to get into the PFAS a little later on, and that's something that people really need to know about.
Right. But I really like that what we've got here. We're talking about pharmaceutical drugs, the fecal matter, the lead. Lead is extremely detrimental, especially in children, for learning disabilities and what it does to the brain. The chloroform, the pesticides, all these things that are in our tap water. The fluoride, that's another whole subject on fluoride and having that in our water. Arsenic is in our water, and those are all detrimental to our health.
And I don't really want to skim over too many of them because the fluoride is another serious one. Can you tell us a little bit about the history of the fluoride and why is that in the water?
Well, it's in the water. Actually, I don't know why it's in the water. I don't know why all these things are in our water, but I will tell you that
because that's purposely put in the water. That's nothing that just leached in. That they purposely put that in the water.
Exactly. And if you go back into history, they used fluoride in the German Nazi camps to keep people docile. So there are tests and history that shows that ingesting fluoride over time, it actually takes away brain cells. So and there are, like I said, there's studies that prove that. So I hate to say the word, dumbing down, but fluoride really affects the brain cells, and that's why they used it in the Nazi training camps for keep people docile. So anyway, why it's in there, I can't say, except that more and more communities are becoming educated on the detriments of it. And for example, one here locally in Dayton is Yellow Springs. Several years ago, they lobbied, and they don't have any fluoride in their water in Yellow Springs. So when people are educated, like we're trying to do tonight, to just scratch the surface and just give information, that we do have the power to stand up against these things in our water and take care of it. So that's our whole purpose, is sharing this information for sure.
Absolutely. And I just saw on C-SPAN, I think it was today or yesterday, where they had a young lady on there who was talking about Biden's infrastructure plan, which is one of the programs on that infrastructure plan is to remove the lead pipes that are in the ground. And as you were just talking about the neural degenerative effects of lead, and they had a report that came out. Many people know about Flint, Michigan, and how they were poisoned with the lead poison, but many people don't know that on the EPA's top 10, that Flint, Michigan wasn't even listed. So,
right. And we've had on the front page of Dayton Daily News, and several times when they were replacing our city pipes, that the lead content is extremely high, to where it's in the unsafe zone here locally over and over again. So it's something that isn't always taken care of, mandated, by our municipal waters. Like I said, they can only do so much of what they can do.
Right. Let's go ahead to the next slide. It says, you probably drink chlorine in your water every day, but is it harmful? So I'll let you go ahead and take it from there.
Well, I appreciate that, because if we look at this, every day, millions of people are drinking chlorinated tap water. Chlorine is used to keep our water clean and disinfecting and killing germs. And it does a marvelous job at that and eliminating the most pathogens from our water that we drink. But the use of this powerful chemical has a terrible downside. And this is according to the U.S. Council of Environmental Quality. And there's a cancer link that you can go to under the Council of Environmental Quality. For people who drink chlorinated water, they have 93% higher than those people who they have a 90% higher cancer risk than those who do not drink chlorinated water. And so people are realized. That's why I said, years ago, that's why I said before, when all these cancer research and treatment centers popping up, I always said, have you ever thought it might be in our water? Well, here we have the documentation for it. But what I'd like to add in this is the fact that so many people are saying, yeah, I know. No, I don't drink your tap water, Marilyn. I drink bottled water. Well, hello. When you turn your faucet on and you're going to make a spaghetti or you're going to make rice or soup, there's all your chlorinated water. All right. And then
and even I'm sorry, but even bathing, we take showers. Yes, I'm sorry. Go right ahead.
Take it. No, you're fine. That's exactly what I was going to say, Steve. A 10-minute shower, you are absorbing over 16 to 24 ounces of chlorinated into your cells when you're taking a 10-minute shower. Now, why does that happen? It's because the shower is warm. Your pores open up, and all the contaminants that's in that we saw on that earlier slide, as well as chlorine, all those contaminants are coming in our body when we're taking a 5-10-minute shower. And we think we're getting ourselves clean. We're literally gassing ourselves and contaminating ourselves when we're taking a shower with tap water.
Mm. And you know what? One of the things that they talk about, even bottled water, is I never knew this. I just, doing this research and stuff and finding this out that the bottled water isn't even regulated. I mean, they can just put a bottle under a tap and just make money, put a label on it and make money. It's not even regulated.
Absolutely. And for our listeners, if you want documentation on that, there's 2 great documentaries on Netflix called Tapped, Tapped, and the other one is The Flow of Water. Those 2 documentaries will blow your mind on explaining how the FDA does not regulate our bottled water industry.
And so, excuse me. I have got to clean up a little bit. But anyway, so the bottle's not regulated, but now can we talk about, because some people, let's say that the water is good, but now the insidious thing is that the container that the water is in may be made with what's called bisphenol A. Can you break that down for us?
All our plastic in America has bisphenol A chemical in it. And that bisphenol A chemical has been proven to cause heart disease, lung disease, cancer. And it is a plastic that is not, that it's a chemical that allows them to make plastic at a cheaper expense, where you go to Europe and they do not have bisphenol A chemical in their plastic over there. So they know how detrimental it is. But in America, it allows the $1 trillion bottled water industry to make more more plastic to put their water in, because it's cheaper with that bisphenol A chemical. But it is extremely detrimental to our health.
And I want to once again help people to understand this bisphenol A.
Yes.
This is in the plastics, and this is in food. When you microwave, when you put your food in the microwave, it's in those containers. But what's most insidious, it's in baby bottles. I mean, it's so infuriating. You know what I'm saying? Because the thing is that, like you said, over in Europe, there are so many chemicals that are banned over there that are allowed over here. And the people, we're so dumbed down to the diabolical, the just devilishment of the people who are in charge. The EPA, the FDA, all the alphabet soup, none of them are for the guarding the health of the American people. Not one of them.
Exactly. Why? Because it's easier to have more of a profit by taking care of their pockets instead of our health.
Let's go to this next slide. So you probably drink chlorine in the water every day, but is it harmful? And we just went into that, and you so beautifully went into why. I mean, these facilities, they can only filter out so much. Just like you're in some of the, I don't want to say any name brands to,
That's right.
but just like some of these ones that you bring home and they filter your water, they do a good job. They just can't filter out some of those chemicals that are in the water. They can filter out some of the. So can you name some of the things that they can filter out and what they don't filter out?
Well, on that first slide, when they were talking about lead is one of them. They can't filter out the lead, like we need it. But yeah, these are all in our tap water. So we're looking at, the arsenic that they can't filter out, the chlorine, but they put chlorine in it instead of filtering it out. They put it in, but the aluminum, the mercury, the pharmaceutical drugs, all these things are things that they can't filter out in our municipalities because of it would just be too expensive.
And to go back to that baby bottle, I just wanted to make sure that everyone understands that when we talk about the bisphenol A, that is one of the hormone inhibitors that causes malformations in the male regenerative organ. Yes. I want you to just think about how wicked this is. You know what I'm saying? Don't put that in a baby bottle when they don't need to.
Right. No, they don't. And Steve, you can go to Target and they have shelves and shelves of baby water. These young
Mm,
mothers have to mix water with their formula. And they
mm,
know they don't want to use the water from the tap because they want to take care of their infants. Well, they
mhm.
go to Target and they buy 7.0 baby water. And I'm telling you, it is full of the bisphenol A chemicals because if in those documentaries that I had mentioned earlier, Tapped in the Flow of Water, they documented the fact that when they put that water in those baby bottles or in Dasani or Aquafina, it's usually 18 months to 2 years before the consumer goes to the shelf and buys it off the shelf. So what does that mean? Is
Mm,
that when they put that water in those bottles, it has 2 years to contaminate that bisphenol A chemical to filter into the water.
God, that's horrible.
Yeah.
So let's look at this. It says states with the most toxic tap water. Would you like to go into this, and we'll go on
Yeah,
to the next?
California obviously is the worst. It's really, whew, it's really unfortunate. And they were the first ones to start understanding that what they got to do to protect themselves. But yeah, we can see the state of Ohio is number 9, but I uh, I think this has been updated and there's even more states that, like you said earlier in the program, all North
Mhm.
America is faced with this problem of toxicity in our tap water.
Mm, mm. And remember when we were saying that lead
Yeah.
being in the water. So here you have California, Wisconsin, North Carolina, Florida, Texas, New York, Nevada, Pennsylvania, Ohio, New Mexico. So the question is, where is Michigan? You see what I'm saying? So
Yes.
if this is the top 10 of the toxic, where's Michigan? So
I get
once
it.
again, man, these we brothers and sisters, look. I please, look, where's the books at? They fell on the ground. But look, this book right here by now I got the green screen on, we can't see it, but it's How to Eat to Live. How to Eat to Live by the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. I want to see if I can find something that he wrote. It might be in the other book. Um, yeah, it's in this other book. I'm gonna find it. It felt here it goes. Let me read this real quick and then we'll go right on, okay?
Yes.
He says in here, he says, take for instance the use of fluoride, chlorine, and sodium, which, if not used correctly, can destroy your entire life. He writes, maybe it is best to find something else that will clean our water without killing both us and the poison in our food and water. The
Yes.
scientists should not advocate the use of such poison chemicals as fluoride, chlorine, and sodium, which may have a bad effect on our brains and our human reproductive organs. The scientists that use such poison on human beings want to either, listen to this, minimize the birth rate, which is going on, or cause the extinction of a people. And this book was released back in the 70s. I'm sorry, you can't really see it. How to Eat to Live
Absolutely.
by the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, released back into the 70s. This is
Yes.
this is terrible.
Yes. So it's no new news. It's just education and getting the word out for sure.
Absolutely. I'll go ahead and read this next one. It says a vast array of pharmaceuticals, including antibiotics, anticonvulsive, mood stabilizers, and sex hormones, have been found in the drinking water supplies of at least 41 million Americans. 41 million Americans. This is awful because we're looking at a pandemic, but we've been suffering from a pandemic by drinking this terrible tap water and some of these bottled waters that are not, once again, not regulated.
Right. Absolutely. Yep.
So let me see here. We have I'll put this up on the board. It says many of those states have high numbers of African Americans. Bingo, I think sister hit it right on the head from what we just wrote. I mean, unfortunately, this is the reality that we're living in, and we have to begin as a community to really look out for ourselves. So let me go
Yes.
to this next. All right. This is an article that you found,
Yes.
that you collected, I should say. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, this happened because, again, in this area where Miami Valley Hospital is, the city was replacing the city pipes. And you got to understand, those pipes have been in there since the 1800s. So what happens when they were replacing those, they stirred up all that lead inside those pipes. And it was horrendous. So they couldn't even drink all kinds of notices. Don't drink the water at Miami Valley Hospital. All around UD area, that whole area was contaminated with extremely high lead content. And it came, obviously they were trying to do a good thing, but
Hmm.
they made it more detrimental, in the process. So this is, again, was just another alert. And this is where I'm coming from with this, is the fact that, for instance, I live in Centerville, and I can't tell you how many times I've gotten up and I looked in my toilet, and there's rust in my toilet, and I'm
Right.
calling the municipality. I'm calling, what the heck's going on? Oh, well, they should have told you they were working on the city pipes.
There is
No,
one other
none of us,
participant in the conference.
I'm
none of
sorry.
us
We're going to
got a
Please
notice.
announce yourself.
let me turn that down so we can begin to take calls here in a few if people want to call in. But I'm
Okay.
sorry, go right ahead before this interrupted you.
So no, that's fine. So anyway, I'm just saying, with this article, we have constant concern about the lead levels in our municipality because they cannot regulate it to keep it safe for us. So my whole platform with the Dayton Water Store is to give people an option to, no matter what's going on in municipalities, that we have safe drinking water. Now,
Right.
when I said I looked in my toilet and it was rust, I couldn't believe it. And I flushed it again, it was still rust. Oh, you know what? That lasted all day long. Now, had I not known that, and if I was or I took a shower, or if I was drinking tap water, I would have ingested all that extra lead and contaminants during that whole day. But,
Mm.
you know, but we weren't alerted to that. And all they could
Right.
do is say, "Oh, well, we're sorry. We thought we told everybody." No, they hadn't.
Hmm.
So my platform is to help people have a safe drinking water, have a safe shower, option, no matter what
Right.
the municipalities are doing.
Absolutely. And that's what we're going to definitely get into. I wanted to let anybody know, anybody who would like to call in and ask any questions. We got the number streaming down below. Also, you can use the link and come on live if you would like. So let's get a little bit more into this next slide here. So this was sent out, I believe that I got this message as well. Can you tell us a little bit about this?
Yes. Again, this is from the Montgomery County Environmental Department, and they sent this out to everybody in Montgomery County. And I have to tell you, it was just like a 3x5 little white card, so it didn't bring much attention when it was sent out. And 90% of the people didn't understand what this public notice drinking water consisted of. But the bottom line is, this was sent out because it states that the Montgomery County Environmental Department did not meet the EPA standards. EPA standards, to me, is not a standard that I would want to ingest anyway. But then on top of that is that we've got our Montgomery County Environmental Department's apologizing. And they
Right.
apologized 2 years. So it's been going on for 2 years before they send out this mass notification.
Mm, mm, mm,
So
mm.
again, it's just disappointing because this was going on and no one knew about it till after the fact.
Right, right. Until the damage has already been done,
Right.
and I don't really know what they're planning on doing with all the young people who are in Michigan that we know of, right? Who
Right.
are going to be mentally damaged because
Yes.
of the lead. That's
Right.
awful. That's awful. So here we have it says Montgomery County, Montgomery, Greene counties, and Dayton, Centerville, Kettering, and surrounding areas purchase their water from Dayton Water Supply. So all these counties, they get their water from us, basically.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. All right. And so these articles here, can you tell us a little bit about what these are trying to say to us?
Absolutely. So what this Dayton Daily News was over and over again bringing enlightenment into the municipalities and the chemicals that are in our municipal water. And what these articles, Steve, were talking about was the PFA and PFO chemicals. Now, those chemicals that are in our water that we haven't even talked about prior in our earlier discussion, PFA and PFO chemicals are in addition, and they're in our water. And these came from in the 1950s, Teflon and in Cincinnati, and 3M, two major companies, put all their toxic chemicals in our Ohio River. And so now those were all PFA and PFO chemicals. And there's I think it's called Dark Waters. It's another documentary that'll break your heart if you watch it.
Right.
In regards to what the PFA and PFO chemicals actually does to the body. It's extremely detrimental. And so what these articles were doing was helping to educate people in our whole area of the PFA and PFO chemicals. And so those have infiltrated our aquifer. Now, you talk to a lot of city employees. Oh, we have the best water out there. Yeah, we have it because of the aquifer. We have a very great aquifer. We have a lot of access to water, but they know that this is contaminated with PFA and PFO chemicals. And that's what these articles were addressing from the Dayton Daily News.
And because I've seen the Dark Waters and some other documentaries on the PFAS.
Yes.
And these chemicals, if people want to look them up, it's a PFAS, or you can look up what's called Forever Chemicals. Forever Chemicals. These Forever Chemicals, and I'm going to put this down here so it won't give me an echo. But these Forever Chemicals, they say that they're in every human being on the planet right now.
Absolutely.
These forever chemicals. And so what do these forever chemicals do? If you watch that movie, they killed that man's they killed his cows. DuPont was dumping I think it was DuPont, right? They were dumping that wastewater into a part of the river or stream where his cows would drink, and he didn't know. He saw some foam, and this is how this whole thing began to be exposed, because of course these corporations don't give a damn, so they acted like everything was all right when everything was all wrong.
Exactly.
Can you talk a little bit about some of the things that these forever chemicals do? Because I know that one of them is what we continue to talk about is cancer. Are there any other type of not side effects, but harmful effects they have on our immune system and body?
Terrible birth defects. So
oh man.
When mamas, have had these chemicals in their body and the birth defects that come from their children when they're born, it's so sad. And I will tell you, we have 5 major wells in Dayton, and around Vandalia area, around the Dayton airport, they have found over 800 people who are on well water. And they have tested and found that over 800 residents is faced with the PFA and PFO chemicals that are in an unsafe zone drinking from their wells. And it's just infiltrated all over. So it's I know that Governor DeWine, I know that Mayor Nan Whaley has lawsuits against DuPont and 3M. But how many years is that going to take? And what's happening now? We need to take care of ourselves now and not when they win this lawsuit and then try and do something about it.
Absolutely. And, for those who want to know more about what are these chemicals, I think you touched on it a little bit, but these chemicals are found in like nonstick frying pans. That's one of the major things that, when DuPont was coming out, they had it in these non-stick frying pans. So that's another reason why you should be wary of these non-stick frying pans, because they flake off, and then you're eating some of these chemicals from that pan, not withstanding the test of time, if you will.
Exactly.
It's in fire. The fire department uses it as a fire retardant. So don't spray that fire extinguisher, because those are dangerous chemicals that are in that mist, if you will.
Well, too, and fire retard clothes, fire retard couches, fire retard carpet. So I know when my boys were young, infants, we would buy their clothes and say, don't put these on your children until you wash them first. Well, they were all filled with, the fire retard chemicals, and we're just trying to, protect yourselves by washing them, before you put them on them, because once you put them on them, then, those chemicals get on the skin and get in the system.
Right. So let's go to this next slide. Whew, thank you. Once again, I want to thank you for coming on, because this is an eye opener. For me, it's an eye opener. I know for those who are watching, because who would have ever known just the water coming out of our tap, and here is the very agent that is used to cause so many illnesses and birth defects.
Yes.
The water coming out of our tap. This is a shame. Let's go in. I'll go ahead and read this. It says, let me see what somebody wrote. I'll put this up here for us. And it says, I should have my water tested. Yeah, me too, for real. And sue them if it's tainted. I mean, Sister Marilyn, what about a class action lawsuit? I mean, this seems to be like something I think that's why the PFAS is not really pushed out there as a main story, because this has to be a class action lawsuit of the people.
Exactly. And there have been people that have won, and there's cases out there for that. So it's really unfortunate, and so much so that I know, I think Right.Pat recently got several $1 million contract to try and get their water taken care of out there. So they wouldn't spend millions of dollars protect themselves if there wasn't a lawsuit pending.
Right. Absolutely. And so let's see what this article that you have here says. It says, what you need to know about chemicals in the water. It says the Dayton Daily News Path Forward project digs into solutions for the most pressing issues facing our community. This story examines the possible impact of firefighter foam, which we just talked about, and related chemical on our drinking water, and what's being done to protect this critical resource contamination. We'll investigate other aspects of drinking water safety in coming months. So that's that PFAS. And here we go. The slide messed up a little bit for some reason, but here's the PFAS. PFAS are known as chemicals in our wells here in the Ohio region, because they have been highly utilized in various industries because of their ability to repel oil and water. So that's one of the reasons why they've been used.
And you were talking about asking me earlier about the health effects, the health impacts. Right there it is. Include liver damage, thyroid disease, decreased infertility, high cholesterol. How many has high cholesterol? And and they want to put them on statins.
Right.
It's ridiculous. Obesity, hormone suppression, and cancer. These are all a source of this PFAS and PFO chemicals.
And look at what's the most terrifying thing probably on this whole board is it says that they've been manufactured since the 1940s.
Yes.
So that's why they're in everybody's system, brothers and sisters. And this is what they're causing. And you haven't even heard about it. Many people haven't even heard about PFAS.
Right.
We've heard about this coronavirus, but we don't hear about the PFAS. So
That's
once
right.
again, Sister Marilyn, can you talk to us a little bit about the power of the pharmaceutical industry? This is ridiculous right here, because
Big,
they have to go right ahead.
big pharma.
Hmm.
It's bottom line is, whether, it's all together, whether we have PFAS that's making us sick, we go to the doctor, they're wanting us to buy their prescription meds over and over again. So it's big pharma wants us to keep coming back and getting more and more drugs. In Japan, the doctors over there in Japan, they only get paid if their patients get well. Our
Mm.
doctors here get paid if we keep coming back and needing more. So
Right, right. And yeah, so like you say, when we talk about the pharmaceutical industries, I want people to understand that when they see these commercials on television, uh, commercials pay the bills.
right,
So the commercials that pay the bills also dictate to a certain degree what the what's going to be on that station. So they're not
absolutely.
going to put anything on the station or that station's news that is going to talk ill of the pharmaceutical industry. And that is why, Sister Marilyn, I have been kicked off of Facebook and YouTube so many times because of what they say. What they're saying is not the truth. And I get these articles, many of times I get these articles from a reputable news source, and you just don't never know when they're going to ban you. I think my ban is up tomorrow on Facebook, but YouTube, they demonetize me. So it's just like it's a terrible situation that we're in, because it seems like even what we're talking about now could be kicked off because,
Yes,
of course, DuPont has, they're a powerful corporation. Or
right,
yeah,
right.
pharmaceutical in the
Mm-hmm,
pharmaceuticals as well. But
mm-hmm.
so um, let's go ahead, because we talked about the PFAS for long enough. So let's go ahead, because we got and if we can go just a little bit over, let's go ahead and get into some solutions as we round this all off. The truth about the $13 billion bottle industry, water industry is amazing. You know, Sister Marilyn, have you ever seen those videos where they literally have islands of plastic?
Mm-hmm.
Islands of plastic.
It's
And think
called
about
it's called what is it? It's in the Pacific, the Gulf Coast. It's called, I can't even think what right now. Plastic
right.
soup. It's called plastic soup. in
Okay.
in our the Gulf Coast. It's ridiculous. So what's happening with all this plastic is that plastic does not biodegrade. It never literally degrades, so that it gets tiny little particles and it's in our ocean. And so what's happening is our fish are taking, ingesting these particles of plastic, and then we buy the fish and we eat it, and then we're getting more and more bisphenol A chemicals in our body, not only from some people who choose to drink plastic water out of plastic, they're getting that bisphenol A chemical, but
Mm.
even those of us who don't, when we go buy fish, it's got the bisphenol A chemical in those, in the fish, and it's really unfortunate what the plastic is doing to, it's killing our environment, and it's killing us as humans
Right. So
physically.
we have a few questions in the chat that we'll go ahead and start taking then. I'll
Okay.
put one on the board. It says, what can we drink and shower with?
Do you want me to answer that? Or
Yes,
do
if
you
you
want to
would
go
like
first?
to go ahead, and I'll say a little bit,
Okay.
about what we can. Well, no, you go ahead. You're more of an expert on it than me. I'll just throw my little 2 cents in after you're done.
Okay. What you want to do is protect yourself with a filtration system at your kitchen sink. You want to protect yourself with a shower unit that's going to take out these chemicals, so that you have two sources in your home. You want to protect yourself with the water that you drink, that you cook with, that you use, ice cubes, etc., in your kitchen. And that's a filtration system that you want to get in your house, as well as a shower unit.
Excellent, excellent. Yeah, thank you for that. Because yeah, definitely, there's a number of different ways to filter your water. One we're going to talk about. There's the one that people know about with the what are the two main ones that are out there that people have that they can filter their water. Of course, it doesn't get the chemicals, but I forget the two main ones. I know the Berkey water filter is a good water filter, filter out chemicals as well. But like you said, where can they get these ones that they can attach to their shower
Absolutely.
to filter that water?
What I carry at Dayton Water Store are options for pre-filters and also for water ionizers. And it hooks at just a kitchen appliance that every household in America someday will have it, because of the benefits of this ion. This is a kitchen appliance that takes out your contaminants, but it literally creates a healthy drinking water. Thus, a lot of the health food stores have them and are advocates. I know Natural Foods Plus has these units in both of their locations. So what it is, it's a very high grade 3-stage carbon filter that filters out your contaminants. But then it's a Japanese ionization process that creates a healthy drinking water, so that you have that at your kitchen sink. But then there are shower units, and the shower units not only, again, take out the contaminants, but the shower unit literally has a 2-stage carbon filter in it, plus food amount of their brown mineral stones. And so the water for the shower is cleaned with the carbon filter. It takes out the contaminants, but then the water goes over a second filter of brown tufa stones that are mined in the Fudamata hot springs in Japan. And it literally is like having a hot mineral spring spa right in your shower or tub. So now it's amazing. So now not only is it taking out the contaminants, but it's reconditioning the skin and the hair as a hot mineral springs right in your bath, in your shower.
Right. And there's a commercial that shows some woman coming out and her hair is all messed up, and then they fix her water and her hair is all. So there's a science to this, but they don't really want to tell you what it is. They'll sell it to you though, but they don't want to tell you what it is. Let's go to another question. This one is, how can we test our own water?
Well, there are test kits that you can get at Home Depot and Lowe's, but there's, to be honest with you, to test for the PFA and PFOs, those kits range $1,500 to test for the PFA and PFO chemicals. They're very, very expensive. So at Dayton Water Store, I can come in to your home and I can test your water of how much it's contaminated with chlorine, and just give you some ideas of what's in your tap water, which we already know. But but there are test kits, and you can Google water test kits, and I've had people buy them offline and give them an idea of what's in their source water. Good question.
Excellent. Another question is, Dayton have an online store. Do you have an online store?
Absolutely. DaytonWaterStore.com is the online store that's available.
All right. DaytonWaterStore.com.
Yes.
All right. And so let me see here as we begin to wrap this on up. Is there anything that you would like to touch more on that maybe we didn't cover? Or
I guess just to sum up is to give people hope that they do have options to protect themselves and their family. And there are several different, like we said, the kitchen appliance, this one that we're showing right here is called the Kangen 8 unit. And it has 8 solid titanium plates in it. and it has a 3-stage high-grade filter that cleans the water first. But when it goes over the place, it literally creates 2 types of water, an acid water and an alkaline water. And alkaline water is another whole topic that would be
Right.
for another show. But
Okay.
that's the power of, and more Americans are becoming aware of the importance of drinking alkaline water to get the body in an alkaline homeostasis state. This technology has been in Japan for 50 years. So we've only had it in America for 10. So anyway, these units, that's how they create a healthy alkaline antioxidant water. So the acid water that the units make, at the same time, you go chemical
Right.
free in your household. So that's another whole topic, is how
Right.
to go chemical free in your household with just water. And I can tell you, I haven't bought Clorox, any cleaning supplies for over 10 years. I just use water to clean with, and it's amazing. But again, these are just healthy drinking water options, as well as toxic free chemicals in your home.
Right. Excellent. Thank you so much, because you're right. We need to get into talking about that alkaline water, because many people are wondering, is alkaline water safe? And then, one of the things that you also talk about that the machine makes is the acidic water, which,
Yes.
when we talk about cancer in the body, that means that really we have an acidic body,
Yes.
because the cancer can't really thrive or live in an alkaline environment. But however, there does have to be a balance. You can't have too much of an alkaline body as well, because alkaline then allows certain so acid is necessary to kill certain bacterias and things that are in the body. So you don't want to have it too imbalanced. You don't want to have an imbalanced body, is what I guess I'm trying
Yeah,
to say.
I've studied under. That's a good point, Steve. I've studied under Dr. Hortzfelder. He's an MD from Harvard University. Dr. Tim McKnight's an MD from Ohio State University Medical Center, and asked them that question exactly, Steve, because is that a concern? And they said, anything's possible, but because of the air that we breathe, because the stress in our lives causes acidic in the body.
Yes.
The foods that we eat cause an acidosis in the body. So anything's possible, but they've not seen people to get too alkaline just because of all the other environments that we live by.
Right, absolutely. Absolutely. So I think we did a pretty good job covering the dangers and some solutions to our tap water. And many people may have watched this program and our minds are just blown away at the fact that they have poison running through their pipes. And seriously, that's seriously what's going on. But once again, I want to thank you. Please, once again, give out your contact information and how people can contact you and learn more.
Absolutely. It's very easy, DaytonWaterStore.com. And again, my name is here, Marilyn Caparini, and my phone number is 937-750-9778 for any other questions or any other concerns. And also, Ricky Poole, who owns Natural Foods Plus, I'm in there upon request, I should say, to give actual demonstrations and educate people on this particular water. So any of you who would like to see an in-person demonstration, those are done on a weekly basis. So at Natural Foods Plus.
And right now, what I'm doing is showing Mr. Poole's water store that he's put together. And I think that will become a saving grace as we begin to find out about these chemicals in our water and where we can go, to find and get some clean drinking water and bathing water and cooking water.
Absolutely.
So with that, I want to thank you. If you could just hold back for a few seconds, I'm going to close this on out and then I'll be right back with you.
Okay.
All right. So with that, brothers and sisters, I want to thank you all for tuning in to Knowledge for Life. Knowledge for Life. If you would like, you can donate to Knowledge for Life. We are a nonprofit 501c3 organization. And you can take out your phones and you can click on that picture and donate to Knowledge for Life. Of course, you know that all the nonprofit organizations are doing their last end of the year fundraising drive. So anything that God blesses you to be able to give, $5, $1 is appreciated. If you don't have your phone out, just go later to your Cash App. And it's $No for Life. That's KNOW, the number 4 LIFE. And you can donate that way as well. One of the things that Knowledge for Life also benefits from is when you purchase items from our disaster preparedness store at Refuge Depot, refugedepot.com. And you see that streaming at the bottom. And one of the things that I just want to say, brothers and sisters, is please begin to make your home a sanctuary and not a cemetery. There are so many things that are going on in America. As the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said, America is unraveling, whether we want to believe it or not. One of the things that we have to begin to look out for that's an immediate threat is a serious winter that's coming, where we may be either stuck in our homes, or we may be in our homes without power. So don't be caught in your home in the winter without power. Go to refugedepot.com, get you a small little heater, learn how you can make you a micro environment that'll keep you warm and safe, where you can also have food and water for you and your family. So with that, we'll show the little commercial to the Refuge Depot. May God continue to bless you and your family with the light of truth and understanding as I leave you as I came before you in the greeting words of peace be unto you. And we say it in the Arabic language of Assalamu alaikum. Greetings to you, sisters and brothers. This is Steve Muhammad coming to you from Refuge Depot. As we all know, the weather is extreme. We need to prepare our homes to become a sanctuary and not a cemetery. Please go to refugedepot.com or click in the description below to find all your disaster preparedness items and survival techniques. That's refugedepot.com or click in the description below. If you have any questions, please call 937-985-0779 or email refugedepot@gmail.com.